Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My brothers and sisters, today I want to take you somewhere different, not just through a lesson, not just a reminder, but on a journey into the unseen, a journey into the world that exists beside ours, but that most people pretend not to notice. A world that is mentioned in the Quran again and again, yet ignored by the hearts of those who move too fast to reflect. I want to take you into the world of the Jinn, but not the Hollywood version, not the spooky superstition, not the myths people spread on late-night forums. I'm talking about the reality Allah revealed, the truth that the Messenger of Allah taught his companions, and the truth that many scholars, including Dr. Zakir Naik, have explained with clarity and evidence. And today's journey is about something the Jinn fear. Yes, fear. Not dislike, not avoid. They fear it. Because there is a surah, a chapter of the Quran, that shakes them. A surah whose meanings crush their whispers like dry leaves. A surah that, when understood and recited, brings a protection no creature from the unseen can penetrate. This surah, Tashmai, is Surah Al-Baqarah. But tonight, I want to tell you why. Not just what the hadith says, but why the Jinn react the way they do, why they run, why they scream, and why they hate when a believer understands a certain secret hidden inside this surah. So sit back, take a deep breath, and let me show you something that might change how you see the Quran forever. Before we talk about the surah, let's talk about them. Jinn, created from smokeless fire, living, breathing, thinking beings, not angels, not demons in the Christian sense, but a race with families, emotions, beliefs, and choices. Some are Muslim, many are not. Some follow devils, some run from them. And while humans live guided mostly by what they see, the Jinn live guided by what they feel. They sense things we don't. They move in ways we can't. They whisper into hearts, because that's the only weapon they have left. But despite all their abilities, something breaks them. Not swords, not weapons, not power, but words. Words from the one who created them. And the most devastating of these words, for them, is the Quran. Now listen carefully. There are many places in the Quran that affect the Jinn. Ayat al-Kursi burns them, Surah al-Ikhlas confuses them, Surah al-Falaq ruins their tricks, Surah an-Nas exposes their whispers, but al-Baqarah, it destroys their foundations. Why? Because it's not just a surah, it's a declaration of war on falsehood, a roadmap of how to resist Shaitan, a manual for breaking the chains he sets on human hearts. Inside this one surah, Allah exposes how Shaitan thinks, how he manipulates, how he enters a life, how he ruins families, how he creates fear, how he operates from generation to generation, and most importantly, how to defeat him. And the Jinn, especially the ones aligned with devils, know this. They've known for centuries. If humans understood this surah deeply, Shaitan's entire strategy would collapse. That's why they don't want you to read it. That's why they don't want you to understand it. That's why they whisper, later, later, tomorrow. You're tired. You've already read enough today. Just listen to music instead. You'll read Quran another time. Because they know what's inside. Let me break it down for you in a way few people do. Jinn don't fear the sound of Al-Baqarah. They fear the message of Al-Baqarah. Because this surah destroys three things they rely on. Shaitan doesn't need you to be evil. He just needs you to be unaware. Surah Al-Baqarah exposes his lies, his traps, his promises, his failed rebellion, his hatred of humans. A believer who knows this becomes impossible to control. This surah reminds you, this life is a test. This world is temporary. Shaitan's decorations are illusions. Real life begins after death. Jinn can't manipulate someone who sees through dunya. It destroys fear of the unseen. This is the biggest one. Most humans fear the Jinn, but the Quran teaches the opposite. Jinn fear the believer who walks with Allah. Al-Baqarah shifts the balance. Suddenly, the human, the worshipper, the reciter, the one who stands in the night, becomes more frightening to the Jinn than they ever were to him. This is why they flee from a house where it is recited, not because of the voice, but because the angels come. And when angels arrive, shayateen must evacuate. Imagine a dark room. A believer sits alone. The night is quiet. Whispers surround him. Fear starts to rise. Thoughts begin to twist. Then he recites, Allahu la ilaha illa huwa. Ayat al-Kursi burns through the unseen. Whispers turn to screams. Darkness breaks like glass. Moments later, peace descends. A tranquility fills the room. Fear dissolves. That's the power of the Quran. That's the power inside you. A power the jinn hope you never discover. Listen carefully. The jinn are not afraid of you. They are afraid of what you could become. A believer with knowledge, a believer with taqwa, a believer who recites the Quran. Quran, a believer who stands in prayer, a believer who protects his home with Al-Baqarah, a believer who knows Allah is with him. That kind of person is untouchable, and the jinn know this. That's why they want you distracted, scrolling, wasting time, listening to emptiness, drowning in your fears, busy with meaningless conversations, chasing things that won't matter in your grave. Because the moment you wake up, the moment your heart reconnects to the Quran, the moment you understand Surah Al-Baqarah, their influence collapses. If I could summarize Al-Baqarah in one line, submit to Allah and you are protected. Stray from Him and you are vulnerable. The jinn want you vulnerable. The Quran wants you protected. Who will you listen to? A strong, deep closing. My brothers and sisters, there are two worlds, the seen and the unseen. Most people only survive in the seen, but believers thrive in both. Surah Al-Baqarah is not just a recitation, it's a shield, a light, a fortress, a declaration of faith, a rejection of shaitan, a roadmap to Jannah. That is why the jinn hate it. That is why they fear it. That is why they resist every second you attempt to read it. Because they know, if you truly understood this surah, you would never fear them again. If this reminder awakened something in your heart, if it made you reflect, if it made you feel closer to Allah, here we don't just read verses, we unlock them so it reaches another soul who needs this reminder. Maybe Allah guides someone through you. Comment, ready to unlock the Quran. Let the world know you are stepping into the light. This channel isn't entertainment, it's a journey, a mission, a calling. Welcome to Key of the Quran, where hearts open, where minds awaken, and where the Quran becomes your greatest strength.